do is this is another 5 minutes each presentation. If we've got time for a quick question, we'll do it. Otherwise, have a think about it, and we can ask those at the end. And also just remind you, to start thinking about whose name you're going to write on your paddle pop stick for the best presentation for the session. So enough from me. Over to you.
Thank you, Dylan. So my name is Angga. So today I will talk about my review paper on the applicability of the conceptual framework for understanding and respond to disturbance to terrestrial reptiles. Disturbance such as fire naturally occur in most ecosystems, and they are important for biodiversity because they can help facilitate various species to co-occur in one place because they can provide a suitable habitat for those species. And however, alter pattern of natural disturbance regime can threaten the biodiversity. So it is important for us to understand how biodiversity responds to disturbance, so we can manage it properly. And many individual studies indicate that animals respond to disturbance are very and seem unpredictable, and a coherent framework to understand those results is still lacking. And recently, such framework has been introduced based on the extensive study of and response to disturbance, particularly from fire. And there are 5 principles in this framework, which are centered on the habitat openness to predict animal response to disturbance, because the main effect of disturbance to habitat is to open up the habitat. And reptile share some characteristics with ants. They are sensitive to thermal environment. So in this presentation, I will explore the applicability of this framework to terrestrial reptile by conducting a literature review. For the first principle, yes, reptile, the most important effect of disturbance to reptile are indirect. For example, mortality during fire in reptile is typically low because some reptile can detect a cue of fire coming, so they can see from sight or hear the sound or hear the smell, so they can avoid their mortality by hiding in the shelter. And even when mortality is significant, for example, like for lizard in Rachmansah area, their density were highest in the Rachmansah area because habitat simplification provide more opportunity for them to forage in that area. And for the second principle, habitat openness also play a key important role for reptiles, including in their reproduction. Many reptile hatchling sex is determined by the environmental temperature. And for example, here the water breaker in Eastern Australia, so they select nesting site on different canopy in different locations to maintain the balance of sex ratio of their sex hatching ratio, because the canopy cover is correlated with nesting temperature. And typically, habitat with highly contrasting level of openness, they have different reptile species. For example, in North America, so open habitat, they have different species with forest habitat, and savanna that have canopy patches, that have more canopy patches, has the highest species fitness because they can accommodate species from open and forest area. And for the third principle, so typically change in habitat openness by disturbance lead to predictable pattern of winner and loser. And for example, here in North America, in pine scrub, species with that prefer more humid habitat, they are more abundant in mature forest, the black bar, and while in area with bird treatment, they are more less abundant, and the other way around for arid species. And for the fourth principle, so the same disturbance tend to have greater impact in habitat with more complex than simple habitat. And there's evidence also for reptile for this principle, where in North America, in more complex area, fire tend to be more, the impact more prominent than in simple habitat in grassland. And also, species respond to disturbance typically habitat dependent, varying according to their favorability to habitat openness. For example, here, the yellow belly water skin, in Banksia woodland, they are more abundant. They are more abundant with thymosin fire, but in forest they are less abundant with thymosin fire. And the last one, so habitat with center diversity in more arid region, they are more favorable to disturbance compared to the habitat with center of diversity in less open habitat or in massive region. And there's some evidence also in reptile. And yeah, for the conclusion, the conceptual framework seems applicable to terrestrial reptile, but in my review, I found another factor also like physiological characteristic that may be important to consider in the framework, because typically change in habitat openness will also influence the temperature. So physiological characteristic will play important role for reptiles that with such change. Thank you.